Hi everyone and welcome to Book Boop. My name is Rachel and today I'm going to be doing the Cozy Autumn book tag. Originally created by the book Belle. I will link the original video down below. I was not personally tagged by anybody, but I saw Mary over at Mary Among Stories do this tag and I thought it was so lovely and cozy that I wanted to do it as well. So let's sit back, grab your favorite drink. I've got my nice cozy The Burrow bread and breakfast sweatshirt on right now, and there's my sweet puppo to keep me cozy too. I will link down below the makers of the sweatshirt, Seeker and Slade, if you would like to purchase this as well. It's also in a t-shirt form, but it's so cozy and I love it. And who doesn't love the idea of staying at the Burrow with Mrs. Weasley? That just sounds so cozy. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the Cozy Autumn book tag. I got my trusty notes here and there are 10 different questions and I will try to stay focused as my dog continually walks around and sniffs things, and he just knocked the camera, so you're welcome. All right, first question. What book always reminds you of fall? That book is The Night Gardener by Jonathan Auzier. This, first of all, it's a very shiny cover, as you can tell. This is a spooky middle grade ghosty story, which I absolutely adore. I haven't read it in quite a long time and I really need to reread it. It is a fantastic story about these two kids who are moving into this grand manor to work at the manor. They are orphans, and not soon after they move into this manor to start helping out with this family, they find out there's some sinister goings on at night when this creepy man that they call the Night Gardener comes out, and he just comes and he digs and he digs and he leaves these dry, crinkly leaves everywhere. So it always reminds me of fall, and also the cover has like lots of fall leaves and stuff on it, and the end papers are all fall leaves, so it's a very fall feel book. Nice and spooky. I love it. The next question is, what is your favorite autumnal book cover? And I'm cheating a little bit because I want to say this one again. This one just makes me think of fall the most because of the cover, because it's got the fall leaves that are blowing around, kind of the whole nature of the book itself. It's got like this spooky, eerie, crisp feeling to it. So definitely reminds me of fall. So not only is the cover very fall, but also the feeling of it is very fall. So I cheated a little bit with that one. But that was the only one I could really think of that really hit me as a true kind of autumnal book cover. What is your favorite autumnal drink to read with? My favorite drink to read with is a nice hot cup of tea. I usually drink green tea a lot, just straight green tea. I don't add anything to it. I don't add honey or sugar or milk or anything. I just have straight green tea, and I like it piping hot. I like pretty much any kind of tea, but really, for me, if I'm drinking a warm drink, whether it's coffee, tea, hot chocolate, a latte, I don't know. As long as a nice warm drink, I'm sold. I love it. So I love just having like a steaming mug. You know, you just see those steam curls coming out and you sit there and you're all cozied up in a nice blanket and you got your slippers on and you got a crackling fire, whether it's real or not. A lot of times I just put it on like a little ASMR room that's got a crackling fire and some like wind and stuff. It's just the best. Anyway, so yeah, any kind of like a warm drink, specifically hot tea is the first thing that pops in my head because that's one that I tend to drink the most. Next is, do you prefer to read late at night or early in the morning? I think I prefer to read late at night. I love the cozy feeling of it. Either it's getting dark out or it is dark out and you're just at this point in the day, you know, you're maybe in your pajamas, you're all bundled up. Maybe you're bundled up in bed and all cozy and you've got your warm drink and you've got maybe a little snack. And I love the feeling of reading late at night, especially since I love reading spooky books, not just in the fall, but just year round. So because of that, I love reading at night and spookiness. However, I will say I actually, most of the time, most days, I read in the morning as well as at night. Since I'm a parent of a 4-year-old, I try to grab reading time when I can. So a lot of times I usually read early before she gets up and then after she goes to bed. So I'm fine with either one because right now I'm just like, whenever I can find time to read, I'm gonna take it. But I think late at night is probably my favorite, and I feel like I have an easier time staying awake reading at night than I do in the morning. Something about, especially right after I wake up in the morning, I feel so drowsy that sometimes my eyes won't focus. So I like reading at night more. All right, I've blathered on enough about that answer. Let's go to the next one. Halloween is coming. What is your favorite spooky read? So I am always reading spooky books all year round. I love them so much. But I wanted to mention a book that I read quite recently that I absolutely adored. And it was honestly probably one of, if not the most spooky book I have ever read. And that is The Haunted by Daniel Vega. There's a lot of dog hair on that. I'm sorry. My dog sheds like crazy. This is a quintessential classic ghost story. We just follow this teenage girl and her family who have moved to this small town. Her parents purchased the house that's the creepy house in the town, but they don't know that. They just bought it because they want to renovate it and live in it and all that kind of stuff. But then they move in, and the girl starts going to school, finds out that the house she lives in is the infamous house. It's the house where creepy goings-on have happened, where teenagers dare each other to sneak in. People have died in the home. It's just super creepy. And then creepy stuff starts happening. It is a super haunted house, and it is so terrifying, and I loved it. Awesome, too, it has a sequel, and the sequel is just as good and just as creepy. It's called The Unleashed, and it's amazing, and I just finished reading it recently. So, highly recommend this one if you want a nice spooky factor, especially when it comes to ghosts. I'm not necessarily like a horror, kind of like stabby, bloody horror type person. I like paranormal. I like spooky ghost stories, things that go bump in the night. That's my favorite thing, and that book delivers. It's crazy creepy. I love it. All right, next. What is the ultimate comfort read for you? So this is going to sound a little weird, but my comfort read are middle grade ghost stories. I grew up reading ghost stories, specifically written by Mary Downing Hahn. She's written tons upon tons of ghost stories, and they're my favorite kind of thing to read because I love reading creepy stories, but it also reminds me of my childhood when I read them, especially when they're middle grade. So my favorite one from my childhood is Wait Till Helen Comes by Mary Downing Hahn. Nice spooky cover. I love it. It's about this vengeful ghost that really just wants to have a best friend at all costs. It's really creepy. But recently, within the past few years, my favorite comfort middle grade spooky read has been City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. I absolutely adore this book. It's all over BookTube most of the time, especially this time of year in the fall. It's just such a fantastic middle grade. It's about this girl who has been through a near-death experience. Because of that, she can now see ghosts, and she ends up becoming best friends with a ghost, and her parents are actually ghost hunters. In a way, they write books about haunted places around the world and just kind of like what things have happened there, why it's possibly haunted, and they end up getting approached to do a TV show. And so this is her going with her parents specifically to Edinburgh, Scotland, which is one of the most haunted places in the world, and while she's there, she meets some ghosts. Some that are not so friendly, and it's great. It's fantastic. It's spooky. It takes place in Edinburgh, Scotland. There are Harry Potter references. What more could you want? It's great. And also there's a second book called Tunnel of Bones that's out, and it's fantastic also, and I cannot wait till the third book comes out. It's been postponed until March of 2021, which makes me sad because it was supposed to be out by now. And I wanted it out so bad, but I can't wait. This is such a fantastic cozy read. I've read it twice, I need to read it again. It's one of those ones I want to start it over as soon as I finish it. So, perfect, spooky comfort read. Next, what is your favorite autumnal reading snack? Now, some of you will either love me for this or hate me for this because this is a very love-hate relationship with this particular snack. I freaking love mellow cream pumpkins, aka the candy corn pumpkins. I love those things. I love candy corn, but the mellow cream pumpkins, somehow they taste even better than candy corn, and I love them. They are delicious. Also, there is now a mix out that's like they're miniature candy corns with salted chocolate covered peanuts, and it's like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. So it's like my favorite snack. I always get a bag of mellow cream pumpkins. I also always get the Halloween Oreos, but they're kind of messy to eat while you read. So I love the mellow cream pumpkins because I have a nice hot cup of tea and just pop mellow cream pumpkins in my mouth. They're so good. Some people absolutely hate candy corn and think it's disgusting. I actually really like it, to be perfectly honest, and I always get excited every year whenever the bags start to come out. I'm like, yes, it's time for the Halloween candy. So that's a good snack for me. What is your favorite autumnal candle to burn while reading? For me, it's anything that's apple scented or pumpkin scented. Specifically, I love this Yankee Candle one that literally is just called apple pumpkin, and it smells so good. But I live for fall candle time. If I could burn them all year, I would. I try to not to because otherwise I would run out of them so fast. So I usually try to reserve myself to wait until September and then burn them through November, and then usually try to shift towards more Christmassy, wintry candles. But I absolutely adore anything that's got like that kind of spicy, pumpkin-y, apple-y, just like any of those scents. I live for it. There's also this one that I have that's pumpkin pecan waffles from Bath and Body Works, and it smells like you want to eat it. Like, it just smells so good. So I live for pretty much all fall candles, to be honest. But if it's got apple or pumpkin notes in it, I will probably adore it. And I love having nice flickering flames while I read. It just makes it so much more cozy. I don't know what it is, but it's just fantastic. All right, next, let's see. When you're not reading, what is your favorite autumnal activity? This is kind of a hard one because reading to me is the most cozy, relaxing activity, but I think outside of that for Halloween and fall, one for me is decorating for Halloween. I adore Halloween decorations. One of my favorite things to do is to go all the different stores, to push all the buttons of everything that makes noise and screams and all sorts of stuff. And I love shopping for Halloween decorations, and I usually add a little bit to my collection every year. I have just as much, or most likely more, Halloween decorations than I have Christmas decorations. I love them. I love getting to put up my spider web lights, and our inside of our house is decked out. We have yet to really do any decorating outside. I'd love to get there, but the inside is decorated and I love it. I love decorating for Halloween and for fall. I love getting out all the little pumpkins. It makes me so happy and cozy. And then I also really love to watch spooky movies this time of year. And when I say spooky, I mean like Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town, Ernest Scared Stupid. Basically all the like Disney Channel original movies that were like the Halloween themed ones, Corpse Bride, Paranorman. I like those kind of spooky movies. I'm not gonna watch Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street. I've seen them. They're not my favorite thing. I like getting scared when I read. I like reading scary stories. I don't really like to watch scary movies or go to haunted houses, but I love reading about them. So I love watching kind of like those sort of lightly scary Halloween movies all month long in October. And it kind of bleeds into November sometimes too. So that's probably my favorite two things: decorating and watching spooky movies. All right, the last question is, what is on your fall reading list and what is not on my fall reading list, you guys? I live for this time of year because, like I've said a bajillion times, I love reading spooky books. I read them year round. However, of course, I'm living my best life when it's fall because that's when everybody else is reading all the fall reads. And I had just so many things in the fall that I want to read because to me, it's like the most fun time to read is in the fall. I don't know what it is about it. It just makes you want to read and what makes you want to get cozy. Maybe it's because it's starting to get cooler outside and you start bundling up and it makes you want to read more. I don't know. So I wrote down a few things here that I know I really would love to get to this fall. One of which is to read some books by Grady Hendrix. Grady Hendrix has written several adult horror novels, but they fascinate me so much, such as The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which I have read, My Best Friend's Exorcism, and Horror Store, which Horror Store sounds the most fun because that one's supposed to be a haunted knockoff IKEA store, and the book is actually, it looks like an IKEA catalog is the way the book's laid out. And it's a haunted store. What more do you want? It's haunted. I love it. I really want to read all of them. And the cover of My Best Friend's Exorcism, at least the first cover I saw, it looks like the front of like a 80s VHS tape. And I love it. The covers are so good. I love the concept. So I really want to read Grady Hendrix. I also really want to read The Invisible Life of Ada LaRue by V.E. Schwab, that should be coming in for me for the library really soon. So hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on it and finally read it. I feel like everybody's reading that right now. It's not necessarily a spooky read, but I really want to get to it this fall. Speaking of V.E. Schwab, I also really want to read the Savage Song duology. I think it's called Monsters of Verity duology, but it's This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet. And I've had them on my TBR cart for a while, and I really need to read them because I really want to read more V.E. Schwab because I really enjoy her work, so I'm excited to jump into those. And they seem kind of spooky. They got monsters involved. I really want to read Hollowpox by Jessica Townsend, which is the third book in the Nevermore series. It's a middle grade series. It's totally magical. It's got some Harry Potter kind of vibes to it. And it's magical. It's just a very magical, sweet, fun series. So I'm really excited to read that one, and that one's coming out at the end of October. And other than that, basically all the spooky books and thrillers I can get my hands on. I'm trying to get more into thrillers. I'm trying to read even more spooky books, and that's most of the ones I want to read are spooky. So I just live my best life in the fall. So there we go. That is the Cozy Autumn book tag. It was really fun to do. I feel like I blathered on way too much, but I hope it was entertaining anyways. If you would like to do this tag, I tag you. I don't know who's done this already. I feel like we're already nearing to November, and then we'll sneeze and it's gonna be Christmas. Then we'll sneeze again and it'll be 2021. So there's not much time left, I feel like, to do autumn book tags. But if you wanna do it, please do. Just go for it. Say I tagged you. I hope you had fun doing this and that you had fun talking about cozy autumnal things, because it's fun. I love it. On this side of the video over here is a link off with my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel, follow me on my book journey, hit that little bell to get notifications, blah, blah, blah. On this side over here is a suggestion for another video if you really want to watch another one of my videos right now. Thank you so much for watching. You rock, stay spooky, and don't forget to keep reading. Bye.